Hey guys, how's it going? Happy Monday. Hopefully you guys had a great weekend. Let me set up this room real quick and then we can get started. It's 6:13 right now, so we have about 17 minutes till market open. Now let's get everything all set up and get started with this. So let's see, we got this right here. All right. That's good. Let's go right there. Monday, November 8th. Man, that's crazy. This year is flying by. It's crazy how literally I feel like it was just January. At daylight savings now. All that stuff. All right, let me get everything set up right here. Everything's good. All right, cool. That's good. Let me get the Zoom link for you guys out here in the premium. All right, solid. This link sent out to you guys here in the premium for this. Start letting people into the room now. Cool. All right, everything looks good. All right, guys. So I'm letting people into the room right now. Get a few minutes for everyone to make their way in. It's 6:15 right now. Market is opening in about 15 minutes. We got quite a bit of some time before market open. So I'll give it some time for people to make their way in. Once everyone makes their way in, we can get started. So let's see. All right, cool. Hey, morning, Jay. Morning, Kenny. Morning, Peter. Morning, Mauricio. Morning, Dean. Morning, everybody. Hopefully you guys had a great weekend. Today is Monday, November 8th. It's crazy, right, guys? I know if you guys look at the calendar, it seems like we were just on this live session in January. This year's flying by. Yeah, we have some news this week. Let me check the calendar real quick just to confirm. Let's just go over everything right now. Abraham said, did I miss something about the trading day today? No, you got here just in time, Abraham. We're barely getting started, so you're all right. I'm going to go over everything shortly. I'm going to let a few more people make their way into the room. Once everyone makes their way in, then we'll start with our analysis and whatnot. But you haven't missed anything. Oh, shit, sorry. My dog is right here. Abraham said, I mean, the market is late today, no movement. I mean, there's been a lot of movement right now. I don't know what market you've been looking at, bro. This right here, this, I mean, it's been moving pretty solid. It's been moving from London consolidation and then breakout right here for, I mean, this is normal movement for a Monday. Generally, the market isn't open because everything's closed. The US market just opened. So like there was a breakout here on open for London open and consolidated a bit. And then it shot up right here. Did you check the news today, Abraham? Because if you check the news, there wasn't really much going on today. Usually sometimes there's news like on Sunday night, but there was nothing. So that's why there was just consolidation because the market was pretty much closed. There's nothing going on. So that's the main reason why there wasn't much movement. But generally on a in an hour red folder. Yeah. No, Powell's going to speak today. So that's what I was referring to earlier, but there was nothing during Sunday. That's why there wasn't really much movement. When the market's closed for the weekend, the only market that's technically open, well, I mean, Asia's open, but it's not really on a Sunday. There's no movement, right? Because market barely opens on Sunday and there's just no movement. And then London session, there's no movement either because it's just London session. US 30 is a US asset. So when the market opened here at US for 5 o'clock for US, then that's when it started to move. But I mean, for the most part, there just wasn't really much movement. So there's nothing that you missed. It was just that there was nothing going on. Generally, there's like some European news or something going on like on a Sunday. Like if I pull this up right here, um, so you can see right here, last week we had the G20 meetings, right? Sunday. That's why there was movement. A week before that, there was medium Euro news, right? So there's like stuff that usually goes on Monday morning, Sunday, but this week there just wasn't anything. So that's why there wasn't much. There wasn't really much for there to push price around. So let me just scroll up real quick. All right, let me just scroll up real quick. Morning, Dean. Morning, Mauricio. Morning, Matt. Morning, Fahad. Yeah, Abraham said even the spreads didn't change back. Yeah, because the market was just too slow. Morning, Orain. Kip said, don't forget it was daylight savings in a lot of the world. I woke up an hour early. No, me too, Kip. I woke up at 4:50 today. I was like, man, why am I awake so early? Because my body's so used to waking up an hour earlier. So I mean, it's good. We're getting an extra hour of rest, which is nice. Romanio said, thought the market was open already. Yeah, the market is open, but the market's barely opening. It's Monday. So the market's always slow around this period. US market opened right here, 5 o'clock. So that's why the market started picking up, because now all the markets are officially open. But the New York Stock Exchange hasn't opened yet. Stock Exchange opens at 6:30 in about 10 minutes. So the stock exchange isn't open yet, but everything else is, I mean, open at the moment. Morning, Jennifer. Morning, everybody. So hopefully you guys had a great weekend. At 6:20 right now. Market is opening in about 10 minutes for the New York Stock Exchange. The US market is technically open, but the stock exchange doesn't open for another 10 minutes. So what I'll do right now is I'll start to analyze things. Let's check out the news real quick to see what to expect today. We have today's the Fed week. So if you guys remembered, last week was NFP week. This week is Fed week. So today, or at 6 o'clock, we had Fed member Clarita speak. At 7:30, we have Federal Chair Powell speaking. So if you guys are familiar with Powell, he's a money printer, so you expect price to be going up, hopefully. But I mean, I think we're at an all-time high, so it might not be that smooth of a push to the upside. It might be a little bit of a choppy move and then maybe a spike up later. Other than that, we have Fed member Williams speaking. Then we have BOE Governor Bailey speaking at 9. And then we have Fed member Bowman and then Fed member Evans speaking at 10. So pretty much all morning we have Fed members speaking. We have the loan officer survey, which is tentative. We also have Fed member financial or FOMC financial state stability report. And then other than that, it's other news in the afternoon. Tuesday, we have a couple other news too, a PPI, core PPI. Powell speaks again at 6 o'clock on Tuesday, and other Fed members, right? So it's pretty much a lot of Fed news. We have unemployment claims on Wednesday, CPI and core CPI. So pretty much Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, lots of news, unemployment change, et cetera. Thursday is kind of slow. It's going to be Veterans Day. It's our holiday for us here in the US. So banks are closed. I think the market, I'm not sure if the market's open, but the market's going to be pretty slow. It's a bank holiday. And then lastly, on Friday, we have the Treasury currency report and then Fed member Williams, JOLTS job openings, and whatnot. So basically the JOLTS job openings are going to indicate the new jobs that are reopening for the month. Not really reopening, but they're offering openings. I mean, we'll see. We'll see how many jobs are available. Seems like there's going to be more jobs available. So, I mean, we'll see what happens there. And then the Treasury currency report. So as you guys can see, there's a lot of news this entire week. The only day where it's going to be kind of slow is going to be Thursday, which is a US holiday. So we'll have to confirm whether the market's going to be open. I mean, I'll be live with you guys, but if there's no market movement, then, obviously there's not going to be a thing for us to take, but we'll still be on. Other than that, I think that's pretty much it. So hopefully that covers everything for you guys. Looking at CNBC, let me just refresh this real quick. Looking at CNBC, looks like there's a lot of job openings, just like a lot of updates there. Pretty much all of the indexes are bullish pre-market. The Dow's up, S&P's up, NASDAQ's up, oil's up, 10-year bonds up, everything's up. So everything's looking good pre-market. Today, like I mentioned, this is a Fed week. So the Fed's going to be speaking all week. They're going to be talking about the economy. With that said, it's probably going to be good stuff because we're like slowly making our way out of I wouldn't say recession, but we're making our way out of COVID. So things are reopening. There's more mandates and stuff like that, but stuff's going back to normal aside from having to get the vaccine to do anything. So Yeah, man, it's crazy. You need the vaccine everywhere here in California now. I went to a concert yesterday and we needed the vaccine, which is fine. I mean, it is what it is, right? If you guys want to go out, you need the vaccine. I'm not vax or anti-vax or whatever that, I'm not political at all, but whatever. If you guys want to do stuff, it is what it is. All right. Anyways, market's opening in about 6 minutes. So other than that, let's see if there's anything else right here. Let me check the chats, and then I will go over the technicals and everything. So let me just see if I missed anything else. Missed morning, Christopher. Rav's at all-time high to. That's why I did not take the 1 minute buy. No, exactly, Rav. Good decision there, because the market is opening soon and we're at the all-time high. Kip also mentioned that retail sentiment is 75% short. So what I'm going to be expecting this morning is probably manipulation to the downside. I think it's going to be bullish today. So what I hope the market gets pushed to the downside. I hope it gets pushed down, and then we can catch it as it swings back up, kind of similar to what we were doing last week. Other than that, let's see if there's anything else here that I'm missing. Søren said here everything is closing again. Damn, I think you're in the UK, right, Søren? So yeah, that's crazy. Morning, Miles. Logan said Hitler would be proud. Morning, Tracy. And the rest of you amazing traders. No, definitely. Morning, Tracy. Glad to have you here. Okay, Søren's in Netherlands. So yeah, it looks like a lot of stuff is reclosing. But it's fine. Even if things close, like if you guys remember when COVID happened, a lot of people were freaking out, but we were having a blast because we were at home trading it like every day, or nobody had work, and we were trading and making a ton of profit. So, I mean, it was a win-win for us because people got to get better at trading. And a lot of our traders here, actually, they're now full-time traders because they traded with us during COVID. They got really good. And then now they just trade. They didn't even go back to work. So, I mean, it was a win-win for us. If things close down, I don't care, because we're going to be here trading anyways. It's not a big deal for me or for any of us, really, because we'll just be on the charts more. Yeah, I mean, other than that, let's see if there's anything else here. Morning, Lisa. Morning, Delmas. Paul said, honestly, I'm a bit nervous to take a trade. Same here, because we're at an all-time high and the sentiment is high, and we have a lot of news this week, a lot of Fed news. Jennifer said I was chilling, flying to New York for $20 round trip, right? That's super cheap. Jay said here in Australia, we're finally opening everything, 80% vaccinated. Wow, that's crazy. I heard you guys are really strict out there in Australia, Jay. I know here in the States, we've a lot of people have been talking about it's been going off over there in Australia. You guys are super strict. But yeah, it looks like, you said it pays off because now that you guys are finally reopening. So that's a good thing. All right, guys. Anyways, I'm done looking at the chat. I'm gonna close this. We're gonna start analyzing the charts. Jay said most of what you hear is crap. No, I agree. That's why I don't really listen to the news or anything. I just, I read it, listen to it, but I don't necessarily follow it. I think it's crazy what people say sometimes. I don't follow news at all because I'm not political or anything like that. Whatever happens. It is what it is. So let's take a look at the charts right now. Looking over here at the retail sentiment, it's currently 77% short. Let me refresh that, 75% short. So this means that retail traders are majority short. That means that we want to do the opposite. We want to take buys. So we're looking for longs here. Looking at the futures data, price is currently 153 points in the green, which is perfect because it's opposite of what retail traders are. Everyone's short, we want to go long. So that's perfect. Confluence is there on point. Looking over here at the technicals on the 1 minute, we have a bullish bias. And the reason for that is because price is above the pivots and the trend meter is green, indicating that price is going to continue to push to the upside. Here on the 3 minute, same situation. Price is above the pivots, the trend meter is green. So everything looks bullish here. Lastly, on the 10 minute over here, let's refresh this, close everything off here. Price is also above the pivots and the trend meter is green. So as you guys can see here, we have a very strong bullish bias, right? Fundamentals are bullish, technicals are bullish, retail sentiment is bearish. So that's perfect. Everything's pointing towards the upside of what we're looking for here. However, one thing that you guys want to keep in mind is that we are at the all-time high. So also the daily entry from yesterday or Friday or whatever it was, I think it hit full TP. So if you guys caught it, congrats to you. And we'll keep looking for the next one here. But yes, we are at the all-time high. So I'm not going to be taking any trades right now, guys, for that specific reason, right? I don't want to get caught in this. Price is probably going to spike down. So looking at current price right now, it's currently at the all-time high as we speak. So what we might see on market open is price might just spike down a bit, or it'll keep pushing up, but expect some sort of pullback at some point. So, just keep that in mind, keep an open mind when you guys are looking at the charts. But yeah, pretty much everything over here. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to mark up my specific time periods. If you guys have been with us for the live session, you guys know exactly what I'm doing here. I'm marking it up at, I pretty much chop up the market into certain time periods where price generally shifts, consolidates, reverses, so that I know exactly where to trade, where not to trade, where to identify where, direction is going. So if you guys remember that, basically from 6:30 to 8, this is where I trade and this is where direction is set. So like between this period, price is either going to go up or price is going to go down, one or the other, right? Then from there, price generally consolidates from 8 to 9, consolidates, it pushes up to a direction, 9 to 10, consolidates, and then reverses from 10 to 12, mid-market reversal. So, all right, guys, market is opening in about 20 seconds. So when the market opens in 20 seconds, we will confirm the direction and then we'll go from there. But we're looking for a bullish bias right now. We just need to confirm with the fundamentals that the market really is going to be bullish. And then after that, we can start looking for trades in that direction. So, yeah, let's get it going. All right, market is now open. So let's see, market just froze for a second there. What's going to happen? There we go with that bullish push. We're at the all-time high, so I'm not going to take any trades right now. Problem with it being at an all-time high is that's probably going to have to spike down at some point. So you guys want to be careful trading at the all-time high. I don't recommend anyone trade at the all-time high, but if you guys want to, it's up to you. Just understand that risk. Yeah, this is way too risky. And you see a big spike back to the downside. This is exactly why you guys do not want to trade at the all-time high. Yeah, look at that huge wick right there. But you know what? What were you expecting, right? It's literally at the all-time high. So let's pull up the fundamentals real quick, see what's going on over here. Refresh this. Price is currently 189 points in the green. Obviously, you can see new all-time high today. Refreshing this right here, the stock index, entire stock index right here is majority green. As you guys can see, obviously, damn, Caterpillar is up 9 points. That's huge. Goldman Sachs is up 2.19. Visa is up 2.12. United Health is up 2 points. Walt Disney's up 1.7. Amex is up 1.6. Honeywell is up 1.5. Boeing's up 1.4. There's a couple stocks here that are red, but it's not enough to, Caterpillar could just take over everything right here. Literally everything's bullish. So going back to the charts over here, I personally want price to go down. Like I want price to go down because I'm looking for a buy. So I want it to go down and I want to buy that dip when it swings back up. So, yeah, currently right here, what I'll do is I'll mark up 35 mark because basically after this, there's no breakout, right? Even though I won't be taking the breakout, it's way too dangerous to take a breakout right here. It just broke another all-time high right there. So, we'll follow it. Technically, this would be the breakout right here. This would be the breakout entry. I'm not taking it. I'll mark it up for you guys. Reminder, guys, I'm not taking this trade. So I don't recommend you guys take it. We're just going to follow it to see where it goes. If you guys want to take it, it's really up to you, but I'm not going to take it because the all-time high is just too risky for me to be trading. So I sent an alert there. If it hits, it hits. We're following it. Some of you guys like to take risky trades like that. I'm not one of those people. So I'm not going to take it. I'm not in this position. I'm going to try to remind you guys as much as possible. I'm not in this position because what happens is people will enter it and they'll say that they lost and they'll ask why they lost. And they like literally all the risks and red flags that I pointed out just goes in one ear, out the other. So I want to make sure that you guys understand that this is a very risky trade. I know everything's bullish and it's pointing in the direction that we want to trade in. However, it's very risky because it's at the all-time high. It's broken the all-time high every candle here. This broke the all-time high. This broke the all-time high. This broke the all-time high. There's another all-time high again right here. It's continuing to push it. And I wouldn't take the breakout there because it's just such a far push to the upside, right? It's just too far. Price has never reached this point before. So if you're trying to trade in territory that hasn't been, reached before, it's very risky because you risk the chance that price will just come crashing back down at any point. which can literally happen because, you know, there's a lot of people who are looking to buy the top and they're trying to catch it as it swings down. So you kind of have two people on opposite sides. You have people who want to push it higher and you have people who want to catch the top. So this is kind of a cat and mouse game, right? It's like a game of chicken. Who's going to pull out first? If the people who are pushing to the upside pull out first, price is going to collapse. If people who are trying to catch price at the top pull out first, then whoever's pushing is going to push momentum even higher because it's going to stop them out. So as you guys can see, that's why it's a very dangerous game to play when you trade at the all-time high, because there's people trading in both directions. You guys got to keep that in mind. There's no one way to trade. Like I tell you guys, you know, this is an open playing field. You know, everyone's playing their card right now, whether they're looking to push price higher or whether they're looking to catch price drop, right? And it's a gamble. That's why I don't take the trades when he reaches the all-time high, because you really don't know what's going to happen until it happens. And I just wait for it to recover or for it to stabilize in the other direction if that becomes the case. So again, guys, I'm not in this position. It's just too risky because it's at the all-time high. However, everything's pretty much looking very strong. We have a news update right here from CNBC. So Dow Jones jumps 200 points after Congress passed infrastructure spending package. Okay, so that pushed price up. Now we have to wait to see. Okay, that's why Caterpillar was up so high. That makes a lot of sense right there because there's going to be a lot of spending for infrastructure. So that makes so much sense why Caterpillar skyrocketed to the moon right there. It's up 8 points. It's going to have to stabilize, though. It can't stay above that like all day, right? It'll probably drop down maybe 6 points, 5 points. And then at that point, it'll just start to stabilize with regard to US 30. And see, this is exactly why I wouldn't enter the trade here, because now a lot of people are pulling out of their buys because they already made a profit. And now price is coming right back down. This is exactly why I warned not to take this trade. For one, it's at the all-time high. For two, a lot of people have already taken their profit, and it's just risky because one of two things can happen. People will try to buy the dip when it comes back down to this area, or people will just sell off all of their positions. Because the thing is, if you're holding from down here, say you're just holding from London session, right? Like say you saw the push up during London, you took the buy here. How many pips would you be in profit at this point if you held it from down here? You'd already be in profit almost 2,000 pips. So generally, you know, the max that I usually try to go for on these lower time frames are like 1,500 pips. So I would have been out of this position already if I took the bigger move. You know, who knows? Price can continue pushing up or price can come down. I'll watch it, but I'm not going to be in the trade because I don't like gambling like that. I mean, I don't like losing trades. So I'm only taking trades that I'm absolutely certain are going to hit. So, all right, what I'm going to do here is I already set up the alert. So I'm going to take this off. And I'm going to start looking for actual trades so that we don't get confused with this here. So let me just put up all of the requirements here. And the reason I took that off is because I'm not in that position. So just keep that in mind, guys. I'm only going to keep stuff up if I'm in the position or if it's something that we're taking officially, because I don't want to confuse you guys with, you know, what we're actually in, what we plan on taking, and what I find to be risky. So 6:30 is right here. I'll put up the temporary or the daily scalp that we're still working on. I haven't really been taking this trade, but a lot of you guys have, and it's been hitting. It's still something that we're forward testing right now, so it's not an official strategy that we've been applying. It's one that our member Deswell has created. So we're forward testing it to see how well it works. If it works consistently, then maybe we'll make it into an official strategy. But currently right now, there isn't anything for us to necessarily focus on with regard to that strategy yet, because we haven't really fully tested it. Same with the high-low scalp strategy, guys. That's not fully tested yet either. I mean, technically the strategy is good. It's just looking for the TP stop loss at this moment. Once you figure that out, we'll be good. All right, guys. So I put all the strategies out here. For the 10-minute, we're looking for the daily strategy. If you guys are familiar with it, we're just looking for the first valid signal after market open, which is 6:30 right here. Here on the other 10-minute chart, we're looking for snipe entries. Basically, we're looking for a wick rejection off a pivot and structure. And then we're looking for it to confirm the direction. We'll take a trade in that direction. Going to the 3-minute, here's the daily strategy for the 3-minute that I was just referring to. It's basically the 10-minute applied on the 3-minute. We're looking for the first valid signal after market open, which is 6:30 here from New York Stock Exchange. And we're testing it. This is not an official strategy. It's something that we're barely testing. It's been like less than a month, but it's been working. So if it continues to hit, then we will we'll implement it into an official strategy. For me, guys, I don't like to back test. So when I come up with a strategy, or if someone has an idea, we forward test it, because you want to test it under market conditions. You want to test your trade psychology so that you know exactly what to expect when applying it. The problem when you guys back test, there's nothing wrong with back testing, but the main problem with back testing is that you guys are selective with what you see, right? I'm sure you guys have tried to put a strategy together, and when you guys back test it, you guys only look for the good stuff. You look for the winners. And you try to turn a blind eye to all the losers, and that just it skews your results, because you're not really testing it completely. You'll count wins, and then you'll like avoid some losses, and you'll say, oh, I wouldn't have taken this trade for like whatever reason. So I don't really do back testing at all. Once I know the strategy works, or it works to some extent, I forward test it. So we're forward testing the strategy for the 3-minute pivot. We're basically looking for a valid signal that closes above or below the pivots. If that confirms, then we take the 3-minute entry right here. Lastly, on the 1-minute, we have the pivot entry here as well. And then lastly, we have the high-low scalp, which is the one that we've been applying the most. This is the one that we use with the new indicator that we've released right here. I'll try to hold a mentoring session this week, guys. I don't have a date for when that will be, but either this week or next week for me to go over the indicator, and then also to possibly go over the strategy, not officially yet, but to go over it a little more so that you guys understand how to apply it. So if you guys have been here for the live session, you guys know exactly how this is applied, because we've been applying it for the past couple of weeks now, past couple of months actually. And it's been working very well. I don't think anyone's seen one loss using the strategy here yet on the live, because it's so accurate. There's more requirements. Obviously, you can see there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 requirements here compared to the 2 requirements for the other strategies. So it's a lot more accurate. There's a couple more things to look at, but it's very, very on point. So I'm going to mark this as the high. I'm going to mark this as low. As you guys can see, price has created a range. So now price is ranging within this area. What's probably going to happen is this range will get tighter and tighter. Or it'll break below and it'll just continue dropping lower. So we'll see what happens next. But currently right now, there's just nothing for us to take. Let me turn on my alerts as well. All right, cool. Everything's set up and we're good to go. So if we have an entry here, then I'll take it. It's 6:41 right now, so there's not really much to there's a pending 10-minute entry right now, it looks like, or 10-minute signal. This candle just opened, so we have a lot of time left on there. So as you guys can see, there hasn't really been much movement. Looking at this right here, you can see how price came down. All right, so on this clean chart right here, I usually mark up the patterns that happen when market opens. So basically market opened right over here. I'll draw a line at this point. All right, so market open right here. And as you can see, price is just ranging. It's going back and forth. Basically, we like to see when price moves in one direction. So what I can see right here is what I'm kind of anticipating is price is going to drop slightly from this point. And then at some point, price is going to swing back up. It's going to drop and then it's going to come back up. And then when it comes back up, it's going to do one of two things. It's either going to break above and continue pushing up higher, or it's going to come back down. And it's already doing it right here. So you can see price is coming right back up. I think it's going to continue to push up higher, personally. We might have a pivot scalp entry here, but obviously we're going to be a little careful because it's still close to the all-time high. Price is right here. All-time high is about 600 pips away, 700 pips away. So it's not too close, but it's also not too far. You can see price right now is currently bouncing off the previous high over here, New York high, but it hasn't established. You can see now that the high is kind of come a bit lower and the range is tightened now. So now price is ranging within this area, but I'm personally looking for a buy. So we'll see what happens next. All right, so price came up. One of two things are going to happen. It's either going to come up, retest, come back up, or shoot down. But yeah, it's just gonna be a matter of time. It's really gonna be about patience today, guys, because there is news coming up. I think the main thing that's gonna be really key is gonna be Powell speaking at 7:30. I don't recommend anyone trade after the live session today. I mean, if you guys want to trade, it's really up to you with your account. But after I get off the live session, which is probably gonna be around 7:30, where I'll answer questions around that period, it's gonna be risky to be trading because I know Powell generally pushes price to the upside, but I wouldn't necessarily just buy. I wouldn't just buy and then hope it's going to go up, because that doesn't always happen, right? You don't want to just gamble. You want to make sure that you're trading with a strategy and looking for something specific. Nice. Paul said he made 1,000 on NASDAQ. He also took the trade on his demo. Nice. No, definitely great work right there, Paul. So Paul is on fire. He started with NASDAQ. Let me check real quick to see. NASDAQ is looking like. I'm going to refresh this. All right, we're CNBC. Not even loading. I don't know what's going on. Okay, so looking at CNBC, everything's still bullish. The Dow is up 161 points, S&P is up 11 points, NASDAQ's up 38 points, Russell 2K is up 34 points, the VIX is up 1 point. So the entire stock index or index, in general here in the US is all bullish. So no, definitely great work right there, Paul. I know Paul's been trading US 30 or NASDAQ lately because US 30 has been kind of slow last week, but and it still is kind of slow here. You can see the range that I drew right here. Price is now still going sideways. It's not really doing much. What I'm waiting for here, guys, is I'm looking for price to break and close above here. So price is let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. I need 2 candles to close. And then when 2 candles close, I need price to close above this line right here. And even better, if it closes above this line with a buy signal, it's going to qualify as an entry for both the pivot scalp strategy because it closes above the pivots. And it's also going to be an entry for the high-low scalp. So it's a win-win for us there if that happens. That's, best case scenario. That's what we're looking for here. So if you guys aren't familiar with that, if you guys are new here, basically for the pivot scalp, we need a valid buy signal that closes above these 2 lines here, which are the K2 pivots. Once we have that, it qualifies both requirements here and we can enter on the open of the following candle. As you guys can see right here, here's examples. This buy right here closed above the pivots. So if we took that trade right there, full TP. Price right here closed above the pivots. If you took that trade right there, full TP, right? A bunch of full TPs. Again, right here, price closed above the pivots, pivot entry, full TP, right? And again, right here, this candle right here closed above the pivots. If you entered off there, full TP right there as well. So if you applied this strategy, I mean, pretty much all throughout pre-market, they all hit full TP. 1, 2, 3, 4 back-to-back wins, no losses. And that's pretty much what I'm looking for here as well. However, price came right back down, which is completely fine. This is cool. If price continues to drop, that's even better. I actually want it to drop because it gives us a better discount and a better opportunity to catch a bigger move to the upside, applying any of the other strategies. So this is cool if it continues to drop. Obviously, you can see price broke below this, this point here. And technically, this would be an entry using the high-low scalp, but I wouldn't take it because everything's pointing towards the upside. So technically right here, this would be an entry for a sell using this strategy right here. I don't recommend anyone take it because everything's pointing towards the upside. However, I'm just going to mark it up right there so that you guys can see exactly what we're looking for here, right? It's probably going to be a quick entry. I find it to be very risky. And the reason for that's because of everything pointing. And you can see right there, it's about to hit TP. So that's why for this strategy, you got to be really quick. Like you got to be in and out of that position, even though I wouldn't take it. For the people who would take it, this would have been an entry. And the reason why this would be an entry here is because for the first requirement, you want to confirm the previous swing high and swing low, right? This is the previous swing high. This is the previous swing low. Second, you want to confirm price break and close past the previous swing. This candle right here breaks and closes past it, right? Third requirement, you want to confirm that you're trading in the direction of momentum. Right here, we have a sell signal, so we're looking for sells only. Fourth, you want to confirm that price is not ranging or consolidating. Price was ranging right here, but since price broke the range, it's no longer ranging. Lastly, you want to confirm that price has not touched the previous swing before the break and close. And right here, you can see that none of these candles touched it before, right? Main reason why I wouldn't take this trade is because everything's bullish, right? The technicals are bullish. the fundamentals are very bullish. That's like one of the main things why I wouldn't take that. And then another one as well, all the retail traders are short. So with all those things tied together, it makes it a very, very risky trade because none of the confluences line up with it. You want to have, like, the strategy is one thing, and technically the stop loss would be higher up here. For one thing, strategy is just one component to your analysis. If you have the strategy entry, this should be the last thing that you look at. The things that I look at first are fundamentals. So I look at the fundamentals first. I look at retail sentiment. I look at the news. I look at the technicals, and then I look for an entry. That's the entry is the last thing that I look at. I make sure everything's pointing in the proper direction before I take the trade. And that's the main reason why I wouldn't have taken the sell here. Hopefully you guys didn't take it. The trade's still technically running, but obviously I'm not in a position. And I explained to you guys exactly why I wouldn't have been in it for that reason, because I'm looking for a buy here. So what I'm gonna do is I'll take this off. I just wanted to use this to explain to you guys that this was technically an entry if you were applying it. However, I wouldn't have taken it because the confluences don't line up. And if you guys aren't familiar with the confluences, go watch the previous mentoring session. Go to the session from last week or 2 weeks ago, and I go over all of my confirmations. I have a checklist that I look over. It's basically fundamentals, retail sentiment, then news, also looking at these previous session high lows. And then after all that's been confirmed, I know which direction to trade in. After I have that, then I look at the strategies to see what's pointing in that direction. So that's exactly what to look out for. So, another reminder, guys, you're not supposed to take every single trade, right? I see people take every single trade sometimes, and it just blows my mind because like they'll be trading like just like this right here, right? Looking at the fundamentals, it's like super bullish, right? It's like super bullish. It's over 100 points. It's remaining above there. It's stable. It's consistent. It just keeps pushing up higher and higher. And then people still take sells. It's like standing in front of a speeding train. Like, you expect the train to stop for you? It's probably not going to stop. So it's a really risky way to trade when you trade against the fundamentals because, the technicals follow the fundamentals. So if the fundamentals are pushing in one direction, the technicals are probably going to swing back in that direction. Like looking at this right here, it came down, but then look what happens now. It's swinging right back up, right? Because the fundamentals are still bullish. So that's why you got to be selective with your trades. I mean, obviously, sometimes you'll catch trades sometimes which are going the opposite way, and you might get lucky, but it's not always going to work that way. So, what I try to emphasize here, guys, is accuracy, right? It's more about taking quality trades rather than taking a high number of quantity trades, because what I see a lot is you guys know how to make profit. Obviously, you guys see that every single day. You guys see people making profit, but you also see people losing profit sometimes because they don't know how to control their losses. Or actually you don't really see it much because people hide it, but for the most part, that's everyone's issue, right? Everyone knows how to make profit. They just don't know how to keep it. The main thing to keeping it is, picking more quality trades versus taking a bunch of trades that just follow the narrative. So I just want to make sure that you guys are aware of that. Because that might be your main issue, and you're not alone. That's a lot of people's main issue. Rick said, I don't hide my losses. No, exactly. And that's the key, right? You guys have to be accountable. So when I see people post their trades and they have losses, that's a good thing because it keeps you accountable. Because the thing is, if you're not sharing your loss, like if you're only sharing your wins and not sharing your losses, it gives you that perception that you never lose, but you really do lose behind the closed doors. So it's like, and I know you guys don't like posting losses, but sometimes you just got to post it so that you guys can get help. Because sometimes you'll post a loss and then someone will ask you like, why'd you take this loss? And unless you understand why you took the loss, you're never going to learn from it. So that's key, guys. It's key being real to yourself, because if you're not real with yourself, I mean, you're never going to get any better. And then that's the only way to progress with trading, and not just trading, but everything in general, like whatever you like to do and stuff like that. If you want to master something, you need to make sure that you confirm pretty much your good and your bad trades. So other than that, guys, let's see if there's anything else. I'm still looking for a buy. So basically what I'm looking for here is this high hasn't been established yet, right? So what I need is for price to close above here. It can't touch it and bounce off. It needs to close above it in one push. And if it does, then I'll take that for a buy. there's not going to be a pivot scalp entry because the buy entry is down here, and the momentum signal, it wasn't above the pivot. So in order for this to be a valid entry using the pivot scalp, this buy signal would have had to have closed above here, which it didn't. So what I'm looking for right now is I'm looking for this candle or the next candle to possibly break and close above it. When it breaks and closes above it, like right here. See, if this candle right here closes above this line, then I'll take this for a buy. And you guys got to be really quick with it. If it doesn't close above it, there's not going to be an entry there. No entry. All right. So the reason why there's no entry here is because this candle failed to close above it. What happened was price came back, rejected off the high, and it came right back down. So now this is no longer the high. The new high is going to be right here. So just gotta wait for it now. Oh man, that sucks. I was like so ready to enter the buy. I had my MT4 set up on my new screen over here. I had my finger on the buy button. I was ready to hit that buy, but unfortunately no buy at that point. And this is what it really is, guys. It's all about being patient, right? I mean, there's like, I bet there's like a bunch of people who are just doing the same thing. And I bet a lot of people still enter that buy, even though there was no entry there. You know, it's just, it's a game of patience, guys. I mean, you probably are gonna hit your TP still. So, but just keep in mind that that's not an actual entry there. So you guys want to, you know, stay consistent, because that's what happens. Like sometimes if you guys just go and journal your trades and you go back to your losses, figuring out exactly what, you know, if you figure out what your losses are, you guys can understand like why you lost. And you guys can, if you guys go back and look at that, it's generally because you guys took a shortcut. You know, I give you guys all the requirements here. Usually what happens is someone will skip one of the requirements, like not the last one, right? Confirm price has not touched the previous swing. If you guys skip that, there's no entry there, but technically people would still take the trade. So as you guys can see right here, if people just wanted to take the trade, even so, like even though it didn't close above it, it looks like it would have hit your TP already. Yeah. So TP right there. So this is what getting lucky looks like, right? Anyone can get lucky, but this isn't always going to play out that way. So that's why I wouldn't have taken, well, I wouldn't have taken the trade because there's no entry, but I know I could almost guarantee there's some people here on the live session that took that trade, even though it didn't close above it, because they were waiting for it to close. And then when it didn't close, but it was close, I've seen people, they just enter it right away. So if you guys took the trade, hopefully you guys pulled out with profit, because that wasn't technically an entry there. And this is now the new high. So this is now the range where price is going sideways. And I'm going to be waiting for the same thing. I'm going to wait for it to swing back up. When it swings back up, I want it to close above here. And then if it actually closes this time, then I'll take it. But I'm not going to hop into it. And guys, another reason why I'm not entering this trade is because I'm already in profit for the day. I don't want to lose my profit for the day taking risky trades. As you guys can see, I'm already in profit 1,057 on this account. And then off my main account, 1,057 as well. So this morning right now, I'm already in profit 2,000. So I'm not taking any risky trades. You know, taking the risk of it hitting my stop loss and then I lose all my profits for the day, because that's just going to throw me off. I actually have another trade that I hit TP. I'll post the update later. I took one trade pre-market. So, and I was applying these strategies as well. I pretty much mainly trade the 1 minute now only. I take the pivot scalp and I trade the high-low scalp. These are the two main things that I trade. Going back to the 3 minute, there's this would technically be the entry for the daily entry. I don't know, did anyone take this trade? I didn't take it. Yeah, it would have lost. I wouldn't have taken it because the sell. The fundamentals are too bullish. I'm only looking for buys right now. So this is key, guys. Fundamentals are first, retail sentiment second, technicals are last. Very, very last for me. Because I want to make sure that I'm trading in the proper direction. Looking over here at the 10 minute, nothing here as well. And back to the 1 minute right now. So. All right, guys, back to the waiting game. Pretty much just waiting for this to either swing back up and close above the pivots or close above here so that we can take it for an even bigger move. So let's see. That's it right now. Let me check the chat real quick, see what I missed. Jennifer said, I just don't know how to stay off Amazon.com. No, exactly. No, same here. I buy stuff off Amazon almost every day. It's crazy. Like whenever I think I need something, I just go in there and I buy it. Yeah, it's hard to beat that same day delivery. Because where I'm located here in Orange County, the actual Amazon warehouse is like right here. I see all the Amazon trucks every day passing through here. It's like near the airport. And Jennifer said I shop, my sleep is terrible. Same here. Sam said, would you not trade at all if fundamentals are under or even close to? Not exactly, Sam. I don't know if you've like been like on and off with the live session, because the past couple of weeks price has actually been around that area. There was no bias. It was in between, the 100-point mark, and we were still trading because you can still use other confluences. The fundamentals aren't always going to be required, and they're not always going to be there for you. That's why we have a different checklist, Sam. We look at the fundamentals, we look at retail sentiment. If the fundamentals aren't there, then we'll look at the retail sentiment to see where price is trading. Like, for example, if the fundamentals here weren't directional at all, like if this was like at 0, but the retail sentiment was 75%, where would we trade? It'd be looking for buys. It wouldn't make a difference. It's just when these line up, if you have two strong confluences, retail sentiment plus fundamentals, it's a no-brainer, right? If retail traders are short and the fundamentals are bullish, where are you going to trade? You're going to trade long, right? You're going to go long because you want to do the opposite of everyone, and you also want to trade in the direction of the fundamentals. So if fundamentals are bullish, we're going to take bullish buys there. However, if this is under 100 points and this is still 75% short, we're still looking for long. Vice versa. If this was 75% long and fundamentals were 0, we're looking for shorts, right? So you don't need these things. Like, these are all confluences, right? Confluences meaning that they're optional, they're not required, but the more confluences you have, the better your trade. And for me, I don't take risky trades. I only take trades that I know are going to hit. And that's why my win rate at K2 is so high, because I take like 1 or 2 or 3 trades a day. But I wait for those perfect entries. I don't necessarily take every single entry. So what I generally do is I want to at least so I'll show you my confluences over here. So if I'm looking for a buy here, let me go over here real quick. I'll look at this, right? So the fundamentals here are going to be, and I'll count the confluences. So right here, 75% short, there's one confluence. Futures data, 156 points in the green, that's 2 confluences. Looking over here at the actual, the stock index, right? For the Dow 30, I'll refresh this. This is majority green, right? It lines up with the other fundamentals, but that's like another confluence there. Or we'll bunch the fundamentals into one. So retail sentiment is short, we're looking for buys. That's one confluence for a buy. Looking at fundamentals here, it's all bullish. So that's 2 confluences. Another confluence that we can look at is news, right? You want to make sure that there's no news around this time. If there's news around this time, that takes away a confluence, right? So you have 2 confluences. There's news coming up at 7:30. It's 7 o'clock right now. What does this indicate? Price is going to be risky. So we take away one confluence. We only have one confluence right now. Next up, we go to TradingView. We look at the technicals here, right? Is price all bullish right now? This right here is consolidating. There's no clear direction. So there's no confluence here. Looking here on the 3-minute, there's no confluence here, right? Price is right in between the pivots. There's no clear direction. So right now you only have one confluence. If you take any trades at this time, what are the odds of it hitting? Probably not going to be very high, right? Because there's not enough confluences to pretty much back up and support your position here. So what I'm looking for here is I'm looking for price to break and close above this line here, because if price breaks and closes above this line up here, then it's going to be bullish, right? Because it's going to be above the pivots. Trend mirror is probably going to be green. Same with the 3-minute. If it pushes above there, then it's going to be bullish as well. And then same with the 10-minute here as well. So if everything here is bullish, then that's going to add another confluence. So instead of having one confluence, you have 2 confluences. So that's why I would be waiting for this to actually confirm it. So, yeah, and I do see this right here. I didn't take this trade, obviously, but how far did this pull back right here? Yeah, this thing pulled back really hard. So I didn't take that trade right there. Hopefully nobody else did. My main thing is I'm looking for it to actually break out of the range, because price is just ranging at this point. Let me see. This is currently going, obviously you guys can see the range is going sideways, but I'm waiting for it to close above here. That's the main thing. If you guys have seen, I've been waiting for this entire time, pretty much just waiting for this to close above that line. This right here was invalidated, so this is no longer the high. This high right here is invalidated too because it touched it. This right here hasn't been broken yet. So for me, I'm pretty much just waiting. So going back to what I was just saying earlier, guys, the more confluences, the better. Currently right now, we don't have very many confluences because the news is coming up shortly. So as you guys can see, I'll go back to that again, right? Let me just refresh you guys real quick to show you guys why it's kind of risky right now to trade. For one, we have one confluence, retail traders are shorts. We're looking for longs here. Looking at the fundamentals, everything is bullish. So two confluences right there. The main thing that's really risky is the fact that news is coming up. And it's not just any news, it's Fed Powell. Like this, what's going to happen right here is you're going to probably see some choppy movements in the market, because prior to Powell speaking, this is what usually happens. Market gets all choppy, and you guys can see right here, it's pretty clear, right? If I turn this stuff off, you guys can see that market is already getting choppy. So if I take everything off right here and we turn this off, you guys can see how choppy it is, right? Price is going back and forth. And then when Powell speaks at 7:30 or close to it, when you get close to this area right here, when he starts to speak, what do you think is going to happen? That's probably going to happen. Break out to the upside. And this is why I'm just waiting for these positions to really present itself, because I totally forgot. Like even myself, I didn't realize that Powell is speaking so soon. I thought he was speaking like an hour from now, but he's speaking like within the next 20 minutes. So I'm probably not going to take any more trades at this point. I'll be watching the market, but I'm not necessarily going to take any trades. But as you guys can see, price is ranging. You don't want to trade in prices ranging like this. You want to trade in prices actually moving directional to the upside or to the downside, whichever direction you guys want to trade in. So other than that, guys, we'll be waiting for it. So let me just turn everything back on over here and we'll be waiting. So if you guys have questions, drop your questions in the chat. It's getting close to Powell speaking, so I don't think I'm going to be taking any trades. If I do see something good, the main thing that I'm looking for is if price breaks a high, because currently right now it's ranging. I don't want to trade in a range. I want to trade in price breaks out of the range so that I can catch the breakout to the upside. Because what happens here is generally if price breaks above here, even if it's slightly, it's either going to do one of two things. It'll come back for a retest and bounce up, or it'll just keep pushing up from right here without even retesting. My guess is it's going to keep pushing up, because if Powell says something, I could already see Powell saying good things about the economy. One thing that you guys want to keep in mind is that we're going into winter. So like, they always say like good things, right? Like when the holidays come around, they always want to say good things about the economy, good things about the market, good things about everything, because they want everyone to be in a good mood, obviously. It's November, so we have Thanksgiving here in the US coming up. For whoever celebrates, I know there's like it's like 50-50 here with like who celebrates Thanksgiving, who does it. I'm not gonna get into the politics of it, but it is what it is. That we have Thanksgiving coming up this month, and then also Black Friday. Peter just said Black Friday, which is the day after Thanksgiving, and then we have Christmas coming up as well. So with those things coming up, that means there's a lot of people are going to be spending a lot of money, right? With the holidays coming up and stuff like that. And with people spending money, where does that money go? It goes into these companies here, which are listed in the Dow, right? Visa, Amex, Goldman Sachs, Caterpillar, everything. People are going to be buying stuff, Apple. And then what happens is when people buy this stuff, their earnings go up, right? Because they're going to release earnings and whatnot, fourth quarter. Everyone's expecting everything to be bullish. So that's why I kind of expect price to spike to the upside when Powell speaks, because Powell's going to talk about the economy, their spending bill or whatever, stuff like that. And it's all going to, there's like, it's funny because a lot of people don't realize that a lot of these little things affect the market, but they really do. It's just nice. Maddie just locked in some profit. Nice, Maddie. Did you make some profit off that, Maddie? Oh yeah, he did. So Maddie here, he just sent me all this stuff right here. So Maddie locked in 2,282. Nice work, Maddie. And then on his other account, he locked in 1,345. So Maddie took the 745 or 705. Oh, he took this one right here. So if you guys are familiar with the variation to the high-low scalp, you guys will know exactly what Maddie took. He took the sell right there, actually. These are really quick moves. Like for these, you got to be like super quick with it. Maddie took it really quickly. He entered it. I'm not going to explain that strategy because it's very risky. It's a counter trend trading strategy. It's basically, it allows you to apply this high-low scalp strategy in both directions. So like, for example, if you're looking for, like for me, I'm looking for a buy. If the variation appears, you can take it for a quick sell in the opposite direction. And that's what Maddie did. I'm not going to explain that strategy. It's too risky. It's very lucrative. Like you can make a lot of profit off it, but you can also lose a lot. So it's not something that I want to teach you guys because I don't want to teach you guys bad habits. It's kind of like gambling, but it's very high end. Like if you guys saw my profits from like the past couple of weeks, if you guys remembered where I took like almost 20 trades during Asia session, I made a lot of profit. I made like 15K that day, but it was a risky strategy to be applying. I'm not going to be teaching it to you guys because I don't want you guys to be taking dumb trades like that. Like right here, right? I made 12K this day or this week. And this was like the second day of the week because I was doing the variation. I had some losses there. I don't usually lose, but I was testing out that variation and it was hitting, right? Both of my accounts here, 13K, 12K. And this was like, I think Tuesday. So it was like the end of the first day. And I was just sitting there taking all these trades on that same day. You guys can see the date here, applying it. So I'm not going to teach that to you guys. Maybe at some point I'll teach a more advanced class how to do that, but it's just too risky. It's not something that I want you guys to take because I don't want you guys to be blowing accounts, taking risky trades. I'd rather you guys take more, for sure trades that will actually hit rather than gambling in the market, taking variations to, the the strategies that we're already applying. So no, definitely great work right there, Maddie. Off that. Maddie said, done for the day, going back to sleep. Yes, no, great work right there. Looking at the professor over here, professor said, back to trading the 3-minute pivot strategy, I'll take the 1K win. So he took the 3-minute here and professor locked in a total of $1,003 for the day. Nice work, professor. Going over here to the premium trade talk. Let's see, Albert locked in a total of 327. Nice work, Albert. Let me scroll up a little bit. Valley over here, locked in a whole bunch of wins. Nice work, Valley. So Valley's in profit 3,080 for the day. Nice work there. Let's see, Rick over here. Rick said, I'm done. I'm good for the day. Peace out. So we took the trades earlier, locked in a total of 1,575. Nice work, Rick. Paul over here as well. He took the buy here. Full TP off NASDAQ. That's the buy that he took, locked in a total of 1,020. So as you guys can see, you guys can apply these same strategies on other assets. It's not just for US 30. Paul applies it on NASDAQ as well. So he applied it here and then he locked in 1,020. That's a markup for that trade. Patricia over here, she's in profit a total of, wow, 7,000 off that one trade there. So she locked in close to like 10K for the day. Nice work, Patricia. Oh yeah, so she said profits today, pass another challenge. Great work, Patricia, congrats. So congrats to everybody here who passed your FTMO and MFF. I know we have people passing almost every day now at K2. So big congrats to people who here are passing. Albert as well, locking a total of 462. Nice work, Albert. Brian here, man, Brian is on fire. So as you guys can see right here, this is what I'm talking about, right? Consistency. Brian said keeping the K2 consistency, Asia trades and some micro scalps, and he's done for the day. So as you guys can see, every day since November 1st are green days for Brian here, right? And this is the consistency that I'm trying to show you guys. If you guys see my trades, I have nothing but wins as well, right? Because I have that consistency. If you guys follow exactly what I'm telling you guys here, some people get it, some people don't. If you guys get it, it's going to be very, very lucrative because if you guys see my trades, I don't really lose, right? I rarely lose, like rarely. I lose maybe once or twice a month. You guys can see right here, I only take like 1 or 3 trades a day, but they're all win, right? They all win. Looking at Brian here, Brian's a clear example. I'm not the only one doing it. Brian's doing it as well. November 1st, he made 3,000. November 2nd, 2,000. November 3rd, 4,000. November 4th, 3,000. November 5th, 6,000. Today, November 8th, 2,000, right? So, this here is like consistency. As you guys can see, it's possible. It's not impossible. As long as you guys are consistent with what you guys are, with what you guys are doing here. So I just want to make sure that you guys understand that because I don't want it to seem like it's impossible or it's out of reach. It's very in reach. Brian has been with K2 for I don't even know, Brian. When did we here? Let me see if I could. I don't want to go through our personal messages, but let me see when the first time we spoke. Yeah, so Brian joined K2 in May 11th. So on May 11th of this year, in May, he joined. First messages here in May. And then you can see here, every day he's been like super consistent. And if you guys have been looking at the profits every single day that he's been posting, he's been with us since May. So May, June, July, August, September, October, November. He's only been with K2 for 6 months. Imagine being with K2 for 6 months. And now you're locking in this much profit, right? Like you've only been with K2 for that long. You make back exactly what you've been working on. And like, imagine doing this every single day, making 2,000 to 6,000 a day, just from applying what we've been applying here. It's really key. So yeah, big congrats to Brian there. Keep it up, man. I want to see your consistency every single day. And just, keep killing it. So other than that, guys, let's see what else we got over here. Other than that, so we have another buy here that closed above the pivots, but like I mentioned, guys, I'm not looking to take any trades at this moment because of because Powell's going to be speaking shortly. Another reason why I wouldn't take this trade here is because it's at the previous New York high. If you guys remember, adding up the confluences. So we have 2 confluences here. IGs is short. So with this, we have 1 confluence. Fundamentals are bullish, 2 confluence. News, we have Fed member Powell speaking. You take away 1 confluence. Going over here, we have an entry. You add 1 confluence, right? Price is currently at the New York high. You take away 1 confluence. You only have 1 confluence. So with 1 confluence right here, I mean, it's just risky trade. So I wouldn't take this right here. If this closes above here, then at that point, we're not going to be at the New York high. What happens at that point? We have 2 confluences, right? I'm probably going to take that trade. But right now, I'm not going to take it because we only have 1 confluence. So other than that, let me scroll over here real quick and see what else I'm missing. Jennifer said Santa Claus is coming to town. Let me scroll over here real quick. Ben said for the high-low strategy, when the low-high is established, you move the line down. Yeah, so what you want to look for, Ben, is the most recent highs and the most recent lows that have been established. So you want to make sure that they're established. That's the main key. Right here, Ben, this is a new low, but you can see right here that it touched it, right? This candle right here touched it. So since this candle here touched it, it invalidated it. It's no longer the previous high. With this right here, this is technically the pending high. We need 4 or 5 candles. The first requirement right here, 4 or 5 candles to establish the high. If price touches it, then it's no longer the high. This high here hasn't been touched yet, right? So it's still valid. This is still currently the valid high at the moment. This one right here, this was invalidated because it was touched right here. Again, this one right here is actually pending. So we're making this a little closer. I don't know if you guys hear that. If you guys can hear my background, there's like there's 2 of my neighbors. They both have SVJs, and you could just hear their cars like zooming through the streets every morning. It's like, man, every time I like see all my neighbors' cars, it's like makes me want to get an exotic, but it's just not time for it yet. Hopefully at some point. I hear it every morning. It's like these 2 SVJs are just zooming by. Sounds like F1 cars just running down the street. Other than that, let's see. What else here? Oh yeah, so going back to your question, Ben. Yeah, basically this, if it gets established and it's a new high, however, if it's pending, then I'm not going to move it up yet. Like for example, right here, this has been established because this was the high here. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 candles. It hasn't touched it, right? So this is now the new low. For this one right here, this was the high. This was the next high, but it touched it, so it's invalidated. This right here, you can see we had another high that was pending right here, but since it touched it right here, it's no longer the high. This is still currently the most recent high at this moment. Other than that, let's see if there's anything over here. Other than that, I think that's it for right now. Let me scroll down a little bit and see what else I'm missing. Let me scroll up real quick. So I answered Ben's question there. Randall said, Shawn, I'm sorry, but you're hilarious at times, man. I love how you break things down. Blessed to be here. No, definitely, Randall. Sometimes you guys have to just be real for me, I gotta be real with you guys, right? Like some people try to teach you stuff sometimes and it doesn't make sense because you're not like really relating to the person that you're trying to explain it to. I try to break things down where it's like as simple as possible so that you guys can get stuff because I know this stuff can be daunting. You guys hear things or you hear the stuff that I'm looking at and it seems complicated, but in reality, it's not that complicated. It's just the person teaching you doesn't know how to teach you right, or they don't know how to break it down in like, basic terms where you guys can actually understand what to look for. So that's my key here, guys. My main key here is to teach you guys. And, thankfully, like my attorney background kind of helps out here because, when I was explaining laws to like my clients before, I had to break it down and be simple as well so that they actually understand what I'm trying to tell them, so it helps. And I'm glad that you guys are like picking stuff up here and you guys are actually understanding what I'm trying to explain to you guys. Let's see, David said, want people to feel good about economy, even when the economy is not favorable. Exactly, David, 100%. And you guys have seen that before, right? Even during COVID was horrible for the economy, but people still made it seem like everything was good, right? They gave stimulus out. They made it seem like the market was good, even though it wasn't. And price just kept getting pushed to the upside, right? It was being manipulated. So that's how the market is. It's always being manipulated. If you guys don't believe in manipulation, I mean, I don't know what to tell you guys. It's obviously being manipulated almost every time. David said, won't blame me for lost promise. Eventually, I'll probably introduce that strategy to you guys, David. But at the moment, not just yet. Let's see. Yeah, no, I agree with you too, Sam. Kevin said, hey, Shawn, how do you add labels to the session's high-low indicator and what time zone are we using? So I'm on Pacific time. Kevin, what you can do is see if your high lows match up with mine. If they match up with mine, then you don't need to change your time zone. I'm not sure how it works depending on what time zone you're in because I've only used it in Pacific time. If you guys want the labels here, in order to do that, just right click on your chart, go to settings, go to indicator name level right here. It's going to be under scales. If you unclick it, it's going to disappear. If you click it, it's going to appear. So that's how you can turn it on right there to have the names on the side on this point. So hopefully that helps. And I think that's it for right now. If you guys have questions, drop your questions in the chat. I'm more than welcome to answer any of your questions here. What's his name? Powell's speaking in 10 minutes. So be ready, guys. It's probably gonna be a bullish move. And as you guys can see right here, price is starting to push the upside. So as you guys can see, the markup that I drew earlier, it just consolidated a bit. It really hasn't tested it. It tested it right here, but it wasn't really I wouldn't say it was an actual test. It was kind of a fake out, right? Price came up, kind of like went sideways right here, and then came back down. I think this right here is going to be the actual push to the upside. And then you can confirm whether it goes up or it goes down. But I won't be trading during this time. It's just way too risky trading during Powell speaking. And if you guys aren't familiar with Powell, I mean, you guys can just Google him. Like, go to Google, search up Jerome Powell. And then type in memes. that's probably the best way to do it. So if you guys look up Jerome Powell and you look up memes, you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. So if you guys look at the images, they call him the money printer. So you guys can see all the pictures here. He's like printing money because every time he says something, price just goes up. It always goes up. Not always, but majority of the time it goes up. You can see his memes here. The peasants have no bread, let them eat stocks. So as you guys can see, I pledged to print money unlimited. And this is Powell. This is exactly who's going to be talking shortly. Usually it's like right here. Okay, so this is the funniest thing. See a red candle. Jerome Powell speaking, let's stimulate. He pushes price all the way up. So that's why I'm anticipating it to push to the upside. He's speaking in about 8 minutes. I don't recommend you guys take a trade because you're gambling at this point. If you're just trading off these memes, you're literally gambling. But this is what I mean, because it usually happens like almost every time, not almost every time, but a lot of times, right? Like an unlimited stimulus. But I think this is probably the best one, because even if you see a red candle and once Powell starts speaking at 7:30, price just starts to go up higher and higher and higher. So that's something for you guys to look out for. But I don't recommend you guys trade based off Powell just because he's speaking. Don't just take a buy. If you have a buy entry, then yeah, I'll take it. But understand that you're literally gambling, trading when he's talking, which is going to be right now. Talks right here at 7:30. So you guys just want to be careful if you guys are trading when he's talking. I don't recommend you guys trade. I'm not going to trade myself. But yeah, I think that's about it for the questions. What I'll do here is I'll hang around for a bit. We'll see what happens when Powell speaks. But if there's no other questions, then we're just gonna have to wrap up the session early. The reason why I'm gonna wrap it up early is because I know myself, right? Like that's one thing that you guys also have to keep in mind. You guys have to know yourself as a trader. For me, I know that I like to gamble. Like, that's just how I am. I like to gamble and I get FOMO. So the thing is, if I see price go to the upside because Powell's speaking, what do you think I'm going to do? I'm going to try to enter some buys. And that's horrible because if you guys do that, you're probably going to blow your account if you make the wrong mistake. So the main key is if you know yourself, like myself, I know that if I see price spiking to the upside, I'm going to try to chase that buy. In order for me to put myself out of that position, I just get offline. That's the only way I can do it. Because if I'm here on my computer, if I'm here at my screen, I'm looking at price shooting to the upside, I'm going to chase that move. So that's key. You guys need to understand where your weaknesses are and zone in on them. If you overtrade, then after each trade, maybe step away from your computer, go take a walk or something. If you revenge trade, if you ever lose a trade, then you need to step away from the computer so you won't revenge trade. If you like to over leverage, you need to have like a fixed lot size to use every single time so that you don't over leverage. There's a lot of key things. Like I've been in this trading game for so long that I've pretty much run into all those issues as well. The only way to get better from it is to actually understand what your issues are and find ways to avoid them. So that's key. Yeah, Rick said I stopped trading an hour ago and I'm still here. Exactly. So see, Rick said he's done trading, but everybody here knows Rick. He says he's done trading, but since he's still here, he's probably going to take some trades when he sees price spike to the upside. So that's probably not a good idea, right? So when I get offline, you should probably get offline too. Other than that, let me scroll up real quick. Question from Sam. He said, what's the bare minimum amount of confluences do you like to have? About 4? Probably 2 or 3, Sam, because the thing is, if you go for 4, your trade might be like almost 100% that it's going to hit, right? If you go for 4. However, if you go for like 2 or 3, you're still like, there's a good chance your trade's going to hit, but there's still some risk involved. So, depending on your risk, I would probably go for maybe 2 or 3. 4 is good too, if it's available, but it's not always going to be available. There's always going to be different things that cancel it out, right? News, the session high lows or whatever, stuff like that. But yeah, I think 2, 3 would be okay. 4, like that'd be great. But you got to make sure that you're also taking into account the bad confluences, right? So like for me, we had good confluences and we had bad ones. I subtracted that from my confluences, vice versa. So that's how you would figure out whether you want to take it or not. And that's how you have that's how you can get such a high win rate. Patrick's asking, yeah, no problem, Sam. I just want to help you guys out. I want to make sure that you guys are as successful as everyone else in the group. You guys see everyone in K2 is killing it, right? So in order for you to kill it, you just got to do the same thing everyone else is doing. Patrick said, Shawn, for the high-low indicator, how do you get the price line to show up like yours? Are you talking about these right here on the side, Patrick? Because if you're talking about these on the side, you just go to your settings here and you go to right here, you'll see indicator last value label. If you turn that off, there's no numbers there, right? If you turn it on, numbers are back up. So if that's what you're talking about, that's how you would turn it on. If you're looking for, I think that's all you're looking for. Unless you're looking for these yellow numbers right here, that's a different indicator. That's going to be the built-in pivots high-low indicator. So that's the built-in trading view one. It's not a custom one at all. It's just one that's built into trading view that you can add onto your chart. All right, Powell's speaking in about 3 minutes, guys. So set that money print. So let's see, price is just consolidating around this area. And we'll see what happens here, but I think it's going to be bullish. Let me just check everything real quick. Retail sentiment is currently 75% short. It looks like nobody's really entering or exiting the market. It's just whoever's been in the market for a sell is still in the market. They haven't exited yet. Looking over at the fundamentals, let's just refresh the NBC real quick. Everything's pretty much bullish still. DAX is up 165 points, S&P is up 11 points, NASDAQ's up 39 points. Russell is up 1. Here real quick, the daily average up 172 or 100 stock index. Heck, not connected to the internet. All right, so this right here, looking at this, pretty much everything here is still pretty much green. There's a couple red stocks. Nike's down 5 points. I don't know what's going on with Nike. But yeah, for the most part, everything here is pretty much, for the most part, green. And then half of it right here is red. However, the green stocks are a lot stronger than the red stocks. Other than that, I think that's it for now. Let's see if there's anything here. All right, so we're probably not going to see the bullish move yet, but the bullish move is probably going to come within the next few minutes because Powell is going to start speaking at 7:30, but he's not necessarily going to say all the good things until maybe a few minutes in. So, all right, cool. Oh yeah, Patrick. So if you're looking for the lines in price, just go to your settings right here. Right click on your chart, go to settings, go to scales. Make sure that these two are turned on right here. Indicator name label and indicator last name value. So right here, there's no numbers and no names, right? So you turn that on, there goes the names, you turn that on, and there's the numbers right there. So that should be the fix for you. One question from Randall. Randall's asking, how often do you check the fundamentals? I check it all the time, all day, pretty much, Randy. Fundamentals are always the first thing that I look at because they usually will hint what direction price is going. So fundamentals will be number one. Whenever I take a trade, I always look at the fundamentals. That's like number one. The second thing I look at is retail sentiment. So my process is always the same. I look at fundamentals, I look at retail sentiment, I look at news, and then I look at the charts. Because once I get to the charts at this point, I already know which direction to trade, right? If fundamentals are bullish, retail sentiment short, I already know that price is going to be going upside long term. So now that I know where the long-term direction is, I look at the technicals and I'm like, all right, now I'm looking for some buys here. So I'm only looking for, directional trades for a buy. And that's pretty much all that I'd be looking for. So you can see prices coming down. This is fine. This is a fake out right here, right? They're going to fake people out, drop price. And then when Powell speaks, when he starts churning that thing, it's going to shoot right back up. It might not happen. So there's no guarantee it's going to happen, but that's usually what happens. They'll drop price a little bit. We'll try to lure in some sellers. So for example, if you're trading only off charts, right? You don't look at fundamentals. You don't look at anything that we look at here. If you see price dropping like this, like if you see price going this direction, what are you probably going to do? You're probably going to take a sell, right? And that's what they want you to think. That's why I don't just look at technicals here. Because if you're only looking at technicals and you see that price is dropping at this point, what are people usually going to do? They're going to take some sells. Like if people don't realize that Powell is speaking right now, which is majority of people, a lot of people don't realize that Powell is going to be speaking shortly. They'll keep dropping price slightly, right? So that people hop into these sells. They hop into the sells, and when Powell speaks, it spikes up, and they all get stopped out, right? And they are like, oh, I wonder what happened. Duh, Powell speaking. So you guys got to keep that in mind. So as you guys can see, price is now making its way back up. But yeah, guys, I think that's it. So if you guys have questions, drop your questions in the chat right now. Otherwise, I'll be getting off soon. Main reason why I'm getting off is because I'm not taking any trades due to Powell speaking. Also, I don't want to tempt myself into entering a trade that I know I shouldn't be taking. So as you guys can see, the range is getting tighter and tighter as you speak. So as you guys can see, the range is now getting closer. The range is wide out here, and then now it's starting to push to this side. And generally when this happens, so as you guys can see, when the range gets closer, it's prepping for a squeeze, right? What happens after a squeeze is a breakout, or it breaks out to the upside, or it breaks out to the downside. So something to keep in mind. Jennifer said, who is they? Men in Black, right? No, exactly. But yeah, guys, no, I enjoy being on the live session with you guys, right? like this just keeps trading fun. Like if you're trading by yourself, guys, it gets boring, right? Like you get bored, you start to make mistakes, you get sloppy. But if you're here on the live session, like a lot of people just come on the live session just to hear me talk in my analysis because it keeps them on point. They know what to look out for. They know when the market's risky. They know when stuff's going on. And this is fun for us. It keeps trading exciting because I used to be a solo trader for like the longest time, and it gets boring and it gets lonely. Like literally, if you're trading by yourself all day, you get bored and you don't want to, like you don't find it fun anymore. But coming on these live sessions, it keeps it interesting pretty much with everyone here. Wins and losses, it's still interesting for everyone here just to see everyone's progress go back and forth. And you guys probably know there's like certain people that it's a back and forth game for them, but long term, I definitely hope everyone gets on point with their consistency. So Albert here, no losses, all wins, a total of 716 for the day. Nice work, Albert. Congrats. And that's what I'm talking about, guys, right? Consistency, all wins, no losses. Looking at Cheryl over here, she's up 1,722 for the day. Nice work, Cheryl. Other than that, let's see Jamie over here as well. Jamie, all wins, no losses, right? You guys can see these are all different people in K2. It's not just like one or two people. There's like X amount of people who are having this consistency down, right? So great work right there, Jamie. Big congrats to you. I'm not sure if you're here on the live session, but big congrats to you for closing out the day with all wins. Even myself over here, I'll update my profits real quick. Let me just take another screenshot of my profits, and then it's not very much. It's like another $100, but whatever. It is what it is. I'd rather have profit than losses, obviously, and you guys know that. I think everyone can agree that's a better move. And I don't know what's up with my MT4. Sometimes okay, there we go. All right, so here are my profits for the day. So as you guys can see, I have another small win right there. So I'm in profit a total of 1,181 off this account. This is my copier. And then this is my main account. I'm in profit the same amount, 1,181. And you guys can see that these are different accounts because this doesn't have lines right here because it just copies my trades. This one right here is my main account. You can see that I moved my stop loss and profit right here. I should have just let it run because it went higher, but I re-entered right after. So as you guys can see right here, I moved my stop loss and profit, closed me on profit, and then I re-entered right here, went to full profit. Again, right here, I took this during pre-market. I pulled out like before, or I took it last night as well, actually. I pulled out before I went to bed. So I just took the trade, pulled out, and then I called it a day. So that's why there's lines here, because this is my main account. And then this is my, man, I'm just looking at the chart here. Do you guys see how crazy it's moving? I was like, when I was explaining it to you guys, I just saw this right here, just bouncing up and down because market is starting to get a little volatile now that Powell's speaking. Let's give a little update here. Now, Powell's ready to shake up market. There we go. Yeah, so if you guys don't have to trade, I don't recommend you guys trade. It's just too risky. If you guys do want to trade, make sure to use, I would recommend using a smaller lot size and or moving your stop loss in profit whenever possible, because it's just too risky. Sometimes it's better to just sit off the market like I'm doing. So other than that, let me see if there's anything else that I'm missing over here. Yeah, no, definitely. Jennifer said, got to keep it light. Definitely. Talanji said, looking forward to the mentoring session this week. Got a few questions about the high-low strat, but I'll wait for the session. No, definitely, Talanji. We'll cover that. Hopefully this week. I'll get a day that works for everybody, and then we'll try to get that together. Duggan said, I'm tapping out. Daylight savings sucks. It's nearly midnight. No trades taken on the US session. Exactly. Same here. Duggan, it's probably the better idea for you to just call it a day. So guys, other than that, if you guys have questions, feel free to email me or message me on Telegram. I do have, let me check. I have like over 1,000 emails from the weekend. So it's going to take me a while to get through these today. And the more and more members that we have in here, the more and more questions I get. So, just be patient with me, guys. If I haven't responded to your email, I will get to you. I'm not going to miss any emails. It's just, there's one of me, and there's like thousands of you guys with questions. So other than that, I'll catch you guys tomorrow for the next live session. And if you guys do decide to trade, remember to use proper risk and to, possibly, just don't trade at all if you guys don't need to. So other than that, I'll see you guys tomorrow for the next live session.